So we just walked into the La Alhambra we're right in the vicinity of Granada, Spain. So there are some really better YouTube videos out there. I recommend looking up Rick Steves' La Alhambra. But it's basically, we're in Spain, we're in Granada. It's basically a bunch of where the Moors took a stronghold in southern Spain. You can see some of the, the architecture, parkways. We're going into this area now, but it's going to be pretty extensive. So I'm gonna try to keep all my clips short because there'll be a lot of pictures and stuff I'll take. But like I said, look up Rick Steves' La Alhambra. It's gonna be more extensive and inclusive and more detailed than what I'm gonna be able to offer you. But it's really quick. It's 8:30 in the morning. It's gonna get to 110 degrees here. We hope to be out of here by noontime, and we're trying to conserve our strength. All right, bye. If you watch some of the Rick Steves videos, what you're seeing here are the foundations of some of the houses, some of the homes that some more of the common people lived in. So the walls and everything are obviously would have been higher than that. But Rick Steves shows this in pretty good detail, and some other video people do too. And as I understand it, all this started around 711 when they started coming over from Africa and started proliferating into southern Spain. And then I think it was 1462, which would have been approximately 30 years before Columbus sailed the ocean blue. But it was like, I think it was 1462 when Spain finally took over this area, and pretty much it was more or less a Christian Catholic after that. It was built upon a hill, like some of the other Catholic places we've been to, such as San Marino. San Marino was built on the same accord, being up on a hill for offensive and defensive. Well, primarily defensive, but it can also be used offensively. Like I said, this is the first. See, here's something indicative. We saw a lot of this type of architecture and doorways in Morocco from Muslim Moorish influence. There's a beautiful garden area we're walking into now. We're heading into a palace. The palace is timed, so if you get a ticket online, you got to get to the palace on the ticketed time. For us, it's 9 o'clock. But then the rest of the day is on your own. These are more of those foundations I was telling you guys about earlier, where some of the other more common people lived. And then down here also. These look like they might have been excavated ruins, or yeah, it does look like that. So if you look down here, these were the homes of, like I said, of the people that used to live here. I think we're entering a museum or exhibit now. And we made it all the way back to California. We're back in San Francisco. This here's an example of some of the irrigation that they used. So you see where my foot is? So this is an irrigation way, but you're gonna see some running water and some drinkable. They were really good on drainage, irrigation, and hydration here. So if you're from Canada, the United States, Mexico, anywhere in Central America or South America, this is where you would stay. So as we approach the palace, I do want to point something out, is that that's the palace the Spanish built after they reclaimed this area. This was here prior to that. So if you see the difference in the structures of the buildings between this one and that one, because I'm pretty sure that's the one that the Spanish built after 1462. So this is actually the mosque, and this is the mosque baths right here.
Those were the baths. Take a bath.
So we saw many of these type of doorways, entryways, gateways in the Medina, the old Medina, in Tangier and in Casablanca. So this architecture and design in here is very much like it was in Morocco. And if I was showing you guys this without describing it, and I ran this into one of my Moroccan videos, you probably would assume that it was the same exact geographical location. The mosaics are very, very similar here than they were in Tangier and Casablanca. This is one of the bigger chambers or whatever. It's very big, very high. Don't know the purpose of it. Very ornate. So we got one of the earlier entries, and it is flooded with people already. So this area is called Patio of the Lions, and I don't know how much recording time I'm gonna have to be able to show you guys some of this stuff. This is interesting. Patio of the Lions reminds me of an Irish guy I knew named Patio Furniture. Ha ha ha. That's a dad joke. This is one of the irrigation systems I was telling you about where these fountains flow up. It looks directional. Actually, it looks directional both ways. I can't tell. But a lot of people are taking pictures with this fountain in the back, so I'm gonna hold on my videos. I'll just do a quick panorama. You see those lines there, they'll do magnets and keychains and everything, but if you ever see any videos of the Alhambra, this is probably the most common place you'll see. I gotta do a video of this. This is an amazing, I don't know how they in the world they'd ever make something like this on this domed roof. It's a small room, a lot of inscription, a lot of tile. It's a small room, prospectively speaking, to the larger rooms we've been in. I want to show you guys this because this has to be after the conquest of the Moors and the Muslims, this painting, because they don't paint renditions of animals or humans. They leave that up to God. So I believe this is a painting that it's roped off too. I don't think many people are going to see it. But this looks like a painting that the Christians might have put in after they defeated the Moors here. So we're going through a breezeway walkway, and it's an awesome view. It's gonna get really congested with people taking pictures. But Uncle Doug pointed out something. My eyes are bad, but there's one of the old structure perimeter walls. Kind of reminds me of what we saw in the Blue City when we were in Chefwan or whatever that place was called. But we're still in the main palace. We came in at 9 and it's past 10 o'clock. I mean, you could spend a lot of time just in here.
Ouais, fais pas tomber le téléphone, hein.
Proyectando en el panorama internacional a la Alhambra. A partir de ahí comienzan a llegar.
I'm trying to conserve how much video I take, but there's these really cool chambers in here that Olivia just found. Nobody's in here. There's a bunch of organized tour groups, and they're all bypassing this area. Wow. It's kind of cool. We got it to ourselves. Man, there's Olivia. They're going through the perimeter of it. And I guess it comes out this side. Where are we going? Kind of got turned around. Oh, geez, almost fell. So this is the outside of the palace that the Spanish built once they took over. Like I said, it was 1462, once the conquest was done, but I'm not sure when this palace was built. I can't say it started right at 1462, but we'll go inside. So the inspiration in architecture comes from a couple of different influences, a lot of it being Roman. So there's influences of the Colosseum. There's some influences of actually on the outside of the Pantheon in Rome, not the Parthenon in Greece, but the Pantheon in Rome. But the circle-esque structure is really reminiscent of, we always say the Colosseum, and everyone defaults in their mind the Roman Colosseum in Rome, right? In earlier videos of all the other stadiums, or the amphitheater is the architectural term for these structures, amphitheater. So what you see in Rome is an amphitheater. It's called the Colosseum because there was a giant man or a colossus a statue that used to be on the outside of it. But if you're following along, Olivia and I had been to about four or five different amphitheaters that were built during the Roman Empire in different areas, France, Italy, and Spain, actually. From the outside, I wasn't sure if we were going to be able to come in, but this is quite an interesting structure. It's a lot smaller on the inside than it appears on the outside, and it is very angular, 90-degree angular dimensionally from the outside with right angles and squares, and is very round with the round pillars, the round architecture, the round balconies. It's very round in the inside and smooth, but very squared on the outside. So we're going to explore the second tier and probably get some photos when we get up to the top. We're still in the Alhambra area. So we made it to the second tier, and looking down, if I don't drop my camera, there's where we entered in that area. Like I said, it's quite small from the inside. It's really big on the outside. Obviously, they still use it today for some things, shows or whatever. It'd be awesome to see one. In all actuality, there are a lot of these ancient amphitheaters that are still in use today for modern day, not just for visitors, but for modern day shows and exhibits and entertainment. We're right near these, on top of the Moorish castle. Pretty cool vantage point. So see a lot of stuff from here. There's the Spanish structure, that's the one I just did the inside of. That's the outside of it. Once again, it was never used for its intended purposes, but it's a museum and amphitheater inside. There's right behind it is the Moorish building, forgetting. And then once again, these are some foundations that they cleared out that were once where other people lived. So here you have a perimeter castle wall, and then the view from here. It's quite amazing. Oh. So it looks like we're around some of their common living areas. I'm probably not going to be able to get much more video than this. I mean, you could videotape this area forever. That's kind of cool. You see some flags up there. We'll head on up there in just a little bit. Every time I say I'm going to get done with videos, something else happens. So you got the European Union flag, a couple other flags. I'm sure one of them, the Spanish flag, and then a couple other ones. Very cool to catch that on video. But Olivia pointed something out, that our hotel, there's a really cool structure right here. Cathedral or something right there. Gotta take my glasses off. Don't want to drop them. And we're at the furthest most point of all this. But there's a cool structure. But our hotel is right around center screen, right about there. We didn't realize how close we were to it, but there it is. But we're on top of one of the towers, probably the highest tower, and it's a really good panoramic. A lot of people aren't up here. Matter of fact, there's only 3 right now. Looking around.